announcements we got coming up. So we have the bus trip set up for San Diego coming up on April 26th. It's a Saturday, and we're going to leave at 12 o'clock. So we'd like to be here by 11:30, quarter to 12 at the latest. And we're going to be parking in the next parking lot, the next red light down. You can park in that parking lot on the right-hand side where the Public Works is, where we've always parked in the past. Any questions on that? Okay, good. Everybody looks like they're going. So we're going to send it around. It's $40, includes the tip. It takes about 3.5 hours. Last year we were almost 3:45.
Can they go down to 15 instead of 5?
We can ask the driver. We can ask him if
I
I.
think it'd be faster. Remember that last time? It was
Oh, it was brutal last year. Yeah, I know.
Go down the Central Valley rather than go down.
Yeah, well, we can ask him. So.
I don't know. I was home before you guys got back.
There's some at the Irvine pickup, you can't go down.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
pick them up.
Yeah. So if you're interested, sure you have the sign up fee.
Yeah.
Okay.
We didn't do an Irvine pickup last.
No, that's what we didn't. Yeah, if people wanted, like, I think Tom was the only one out there that did. Okay. And then at June and David's on March 29th.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Try that again.
Yeah, RSVP by the 29th.
Thank you.
Okay.
To me,
19.
RSVP to me.
Oh, to Shirley. Okay.
Yeah, it's April 19th.
It's April 19th, yes. There it is. April 19th, 9 to 4 at David and June's. They're doing again the friendship luncheon and sales, and David puts on a demo, and it was a lot of fun. It was a good day. It was a good day. So,
If they get the same taco guy.
yeah, yeah. And then we're gonna pass around refreshment signups. Start over here. Okay. Any new people here tonight?
Vaughn and Kevin.
Stand up. Introduce yourself.
I'm Kevin Mascaro, and I've come one other meeting and then went on the San Diego trip.
All right.
And
One of my
honestly, I know
students.
who Lindsay she
One of
is.
my students.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Roger Atkinson. This is my wife Susan. Recently moved to LA area a couple of years ago and took that course at Huntington and I have an interest in looking to join.
Great, thank you.
Welcome, welcome.
Okay, I'm gonna turn it over to Lindsay.
Oh, okay. So, I'm gonna be starting a beginning bonsai class. It's 6 lessons, 5 different styles we learn, and it's on the website. But anyway, it starts April 5th. So if you're interested, let me know. I do have a sign up here, and then I could contact you, give you more details. But
Sure.
it's about every 2 weeks.
Yeah, Shirley sent it on the email.
Yeah.
Okay.
5 different trees by the end of
Yeah,
the class.
you do 5 different trees, it's included in the thing. So, anyway, so that's that. Was there something else you wanted?
Yeah, you wanna talk about the Santa Anita show, Mike?
What?
Santa Anita show? Coming up in May?
That's a
There
negative
will
one.
be supposedly, tentatively, a show at the Arboretum here, Ayers Hall, Memorial Day weekend.
That's a Friday, no, it's Saturday, Sunday, and
And
Monday.
Monday, yeah.
Okay, 3 days, sir.
Why supposedly?
Cause he's not
I'm
gonna
not
do it.
involved in it, but I'm planning.
You're planning it.
I'm trying to get it out of.
And Michael, you wanna talk about Rendezvous?
Sure. Oh,
Oh, Teresa,
pardon me?
Oh, yeah, we got flyers back there, right?
5 minutes.
Yeah,
Where are they?
they're on the back table to the right.
While he's doing that, I'm gonna talk about the
Okay,
CES
hold on a
scholarship.
second. Hold on a second. So, this is a gift for Bob. That, because he's done so much for our different clubs, bringing guest artists out and,
That is.
yeah.
Yeah!
He wanted the scroll I made.
Come here!
Sweet, thank you.
$300.
Oh.
Hey, Bob, it's actually bath soaps. It's not-
That's fine too.
box.
Go ahead.
Let's see.
So, Bonsai Rendezvous is October 24th through the 26th. I'm sure everybody's heard me talk about this already. We're gonna open up registration at 7 o'clock on June 9th. So anybody who signs up for all 3 days will have access to the all of the workshops first. And then coming up on, I think it's July 5th or 6th, we'll open it up to day registrations, and they'll be able to start accessing the workshops then. So we're gonna be sending out cards. We're gonna start putting that information on the cards here. So that'll come out pretty soon. Any questions about what's going on with this? I think Joe's got, working on the club demo tree, or the club show tree
Oh, no,
for the rendezvous.
Peter,
Peter's gonna do that.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, Peter.
And we've
I asked
got a
Peter-
couple of guys working on stuff for the Joshua Roth competition that's coming up. There's for this region, okay? Looking forward to seeing everybody up there. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so, go ahead.
Every year, California Bonsai Society gives away 2 $1,000 scholarships for anybody in the bonsai community to study bonsai. Applications start May 1st. Look on our newsletter and our social, or our email and website and social media, and we'll give you all the details. But applications go from May 1st to May 31st, and we award the scholarship on June 15th. So 2 scholarships for $1,000 each.
Sonda won one last year, and I think you won it once too, right?
It's very helpful, believe me. If you've got something special that you want to work on, and it's gonna cost you some money, absolutely apply.
Okay, so tonight, we're happy to have Will Baddeley again. He was here a couple years ago, and Bob mentioned that he was gonna be here in March, and I said, sure, man, I was talking to Bob, getting the visiting artists set up for our roster, so, for the month, and then he said, yeah, I said, great, I can always use extra people, so. Extra person? Yeah, extra person. He goes all over the place. He's from the UK, and, tell everybody where you've been and what you're doing, okay? Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay, so a little bit of history about my bonsai journey. Started in 1996. On my way back from work one day, I stopped at a gas station, and there was a little sarissa on the table for $9.99. Managed to kill it quite quickly, as we all do. But in the meantime, I bought a book by Colin Lewis, and it kind of pushed me towards more native species that we have in the UK. Colin now lives over here, but yeah, that really pushed me towards growing native species. Now, where I live, it's relatively flat. We don't have the high mountain Yamadori. We have a lot of farmland, a lot of hedges, and a lot of open land with trees that we can take with permission. But a lot of that involves trunk chops and dealing with those cuts, and that's really where I cut my teeth with the carving, really. Yeah, so we've got 2 trees to work on today. This one won't take a great deal of time. I've been asked to put a shari, kind of extend this one up. What I'm going to do quickly is just knock off some of the old bark as I'm doing this, just to make sure that it's not dead anywhere, and I make the mistake of putting a shari live when there isn't any live the other side of it. But it seems to be alive all the way round, apart from this very start of it. It's got this little shari here, so if we extend that up, maybe just twist it slightly so it goes in between these branches here and up to about here.
What's the shari?
A shari is a dead area of trunk. Uh, usually there's been some damage up high, a lost branch or something that's torn down, and particularly with junipers, the foliage tends to correspond with any root. So if a branch dies here, it tends to die all the way down to the root. Some of these younger junipers seem to heal quite well, so you don't get that quite so much. But certainly the older junipers behave in that way. So it will probably be just a knife to start off with and open it up.
So why would you make a shari?
Why? Just to give age to a younger looking tree. It's quite a full image you've got on this tree, and the older a tree gets, the more negative space you'll get within the foliage. So you'll get spaces between the branches, but not only that, where some of the branches have died off, you'll have gins and a shari maybe down the trunk. But certainly, and that goes, I have that opinion about deciduous trees as well. I know it's kind of frowned on in some circles to make deadwood on deciduous trees, but the trees we have in the UK are, if they're of any age, are absolutely full of it. So I like it, and I do it. But there, you do get problems with that. Junipers and pines have resinous wood, which helps protect them long term, whereas deciduous trees don't have that ability so much. So you have to use chemical preservatives really, and I use them on a yearly basis. Something like Minwax, it's very good. There are some resins you can buy, like natural tree resins. I've not really used those. I've found the Minwax type products the best ones to use.
Does Minwax shine?
It does initially. As you paint it on, it darkens the wood a bit, and yes, it does go shiny. But after a couple of waterings, it tends to go opaque and then back to the natural colour of the wood.
But it penetrates and still protects the wood.
Yes, yeah, it's because it's a fairly thin. It's not an acetone; it's thinner than that. It does have very, very good penetration.
When you say Minwax, you're not talking about Minwax the wax. You're talking about Minwax wood hardener.
Yeah, Minwax is the company name, isn't it?
Yeah,
But it's a wood hardener.
it's a wood hardener.
Yeah.
Okay.
And do you use lime sulfur? Do you use lime sulfur?
Good.
I don't mind lime sulfur, but I don't tend to use it pure. I don't like that stark white finish you get. And if I was to show a tree, I might 50-50 it, and maybe 6 months before a show, so it has a chance to kind of silver off a bit, rather than that stark white. So it's important with, if you're making a shari on juniper or pine, that, as I say, they are quite linear. So if you start peeling a bit, peel it as it comes. Don't start cutting spirals around the trunk, because you can quite easily kill them if you're going across the live vein. I was kind of expecting this to be a bit more easy to come off as it's.
So you're following the grain.
Yeah, I'm just grabbing a little piece. So I've only just started, but we're coming up here. But I thought because it was be actively growing, sometimes when the sap's flowing, it's quite easy to remove. You get quite an easy separation between the cambium and the xylem, which is the new wood forming on the inside, and the living part of the tree. The cambium is the living part of the tree that's controlling the sugars and feeds up and down the tree, and the xylem is the water conducting wood just underneath that.
Earns money.
That's right. No free ride.
What do you mean? I got blisters on my hands from you earlier.
Yeah, that's good for you.
How many workshops have you done since you've been here?
Well, I don't know, five or six, I think. Yeah, maybe more than that.
Yeah.
I can't remember now.
He's
How long
been
have I-
busy.
Yeah.
How long have I been here?
I don't even know anything. A week tomorrow? Is it a week? I don't
I
know.
got here on the 5th. 10 days, is that?
You went up to the Bay Area, did what,
No, not-
3 or 4 up there?
Not yet, tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow?
No, tomorrow he's going to Seattle. No, Saturday he's going to Seattle. And
Yeah,
then
I'm just-
And then Sacramento. Oh yeah, he was up in the Bay Area at the beginning of the week.
Yeah. We went to Steve's,
Yeah.
and Steve put him to work, man. I saw pictures from like 3 or 4 different workshops.
Yeah, it was, 2 days of half days. That's Steve's.
Hard work never killed anybody.
No. It's fun.
No, I've been very lucky since I've been a professional bonsai. I say artist. I've been all over the world. I've been Australia, New Zealand, all across Europe, America almost every year apart from COVID.
Well, you were here for COVID. You just didn't do any work.
Yeah. Well, the following year I didn't visit. Yeah, all that from a 999 tree that I managed to kill in no time at all.
Sarissas are a little bit fussy.
Well, I mean, especially in the UK.
Unless you live in the tropics, yeah.
Yeah.
They're kind of like Fuki and tea trees. They're the same thing, and they're pushed on beginners all the time. And they're not really suitable trees for beginners unless you live in the tropics. Everybody likes the sarissas though, because it's got a little flower.
Yeah, tree of 1,000 stars. That smells horrible.
Oh yeah, the roots thing.
Yeah. Right, the tea. I might have to use a Dremel on this to clean it off. So what I'm going to use is a little wire brush that's worn out, just to clean up the edges of the bark a bit. Put the right glasses on. So far you're not going to be able to see much, and it might be an advantage if I stop every now and then, people can come up, but there's not much to see at the moment. It's just basically a little line I've put up here for the moment.
Do you prefer using hand tools to carve or?
Pardon?
Do you prefer hand tools to do carving or the machine?
It depends what I'm doing. I've been using hand tools all day today because the species that we were working on suited it really. Tearing techniques work particularly well on junipers, pines and yews if the wood is green. If the wood's old and brittle, I tend to use machine carving. It's much better. If you were to if you had say an old dry piece of wood and you try to crack it with a chisel, it'll snap off. But more often than not, you leave there's a little crack below where it snapped off, and you're allowing water to get in there. I know it's not so critical here, but in Europe we have a lot more rain than you do, and things stay pretty soggy. So you have to really watch.
So tonight, because we don't have a tree to demo, that's 30 trees. These will be our special trees over here for the raffle. One that Peter donated and one that Ray Jackson donated that was a frame tree. Yeah, Bob was just asking how Frank was. He passed away 2 years ago, but nobody said anything. We didn't hear about it until about 6 or 8 months ago. Oh, Frank was a funny guy.
Right, so when I'm making shari, I tend to start off small, relatively small, and then you can increase the width of it as time goes on. As the tree calluses over, and junipers do callus quite well, the wood will curl over and fill the roll over into this space. If in subsequent years, or once the callus has rolled over, you just remove a little piece here and there, not parallel all the way down, because it looks a bit regimented if you keep doing that, but just a little bit here, a little bit on the other side, and then the following year somewhere else, and you build up these layers of rolls in, and then there's dead that's rolled in, and it creates a much better illusion of age, rather than one event that killed the trunk off. There may be several different things that help create that dead wood. And the same goes with branches. If you're creating gin, which is dead branches, if you style the branches for the future, and then either you know you're going to sacrifice them or you sacrifice them in the future, those branches are held in place. It's a much better way, much more natural looking deadwood gin than if you were just to strip a straight branch and then wire it while it's wet. And it doesn't tend to hold very well, but if you set the branches with wire, then take all the bark off, it's a much more convincing image.
Well, you see the first two branches, they're like bar branches?
These one, yeah.
What do you think about making the one on your left a gin? So it continues down into the shari.
Well,
It's kind of almost on the inside of a curve. So
yes,
that-
well, this one,
No, the other, on the other side.
on this one,
Yeah.
yeah, we can do that. I don't know how much you want me to do to this tree, really.
Whatever you want.
Okay, all right, we'll do that then. Whose tree is this?
Sure.
Is it, you don't mind?
The one that said whatever you want, so.
Okay.
I asked her before I asked you.
So what I'll do,
No, not that one.
what I'll do is just clip off the foliage quickly. So I shortened one of the longer ones that was a little straighter, and I've kept the ones with a bit more drama in them. And you see this, the knuckle here is kind of reminiscent of the one on the other side. So you've got some continuity going through the tree. So what I then do, for ease, is you just give the branch a little squeeze with a pair of gym pliers, just the bark, and it helps loosen it up so you can take it off easily. Has the club grown since I was here last? There seem to be more
Yes.
members here.
Yes.
That's good.
Yeah, we've been increasing every year.
So I'm using a combination of fingernails and this knife to help me remove the bark.
What's your favorite tree to do?
I'm a big fan of deciduous, but I like them all really. I have a lot of native elms at mine, and it was Colin Lewis that really got me into elms in particular, because he's got a love of elms too. And we have a lot of it in Suffolk, a lot of old elm hedges. We lost all of our big trees back in the 1970s and 80s due to Dutch elm disease. But if it's maintained as a hedge, then it doesn't get infected by the disease.
Why is that?
I'm not sure exactly whether it's the big trees create more pheromones that attract the beetle. That's one theory. Some other theory says that the beetle only flies at a certain height, but I'm not so sure about that one. But it would make more sense that the bark is thicker on a larger tree, and maybe that's an easier way for the beetle to get into the tree. But yeah, we still have a lot of elm hedges that aren't really affected at all.
Is it a certain species of elm or
Almost minor.
minor?
Yeah, that's the European species. But there's supposed to be quite a few variations, but they're very difficult to tell apart.
We lost a lot of elms on the East Coast, Dutch elm disease. Huh? Did we lose them here too?
I thought this was going to come off so easily.
Let's do another one.
Let's do another one.
Yeah.
Even pinching it with the gym pliers has not really softened it up much.
It's not growing exactly as you thought it was.
Yeah. I don't know if this has got a bit of spider mite on it. The colour's a bit lacking down the base here.
I get spider mites once in a while.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we all suffer with them.
Are there a lot of deciduous oaks?
Hmm?
You use deciduous oaks?
Yeah, oaks don't make particularly good, our native oaks don't make particularly good bonsai. Yeah, they seem to die back a lot. I don't know whether we just need to work harder and try to work out what's the right thing to do with them, but I've never seen any really nice ones, not in the UK. But we've got plenty of other species to play with, hawthorn and blackthorn and
Corin Tomlinson has a beautiful hawthorn, gorgeous thing.
yeah, I think we're quite lucky in the UK. We have some of the best hawthorn in the world,
I
really,
think so, yeah.
because we've had a lot of sheep farming for centuries, you know, and up in the hills, all you see is like a little bump of hawthorn, but underneath it, the trunk could be like this, and all the branches rambling. And they're amazing, really. They're good artists, those sheep. Yeah, hawthorn and blackthorn, I would say we're envied for.
Is Corin's nursery near you at all?
Well, compared with here, yes. It's yeah, it's about 2 hours from me.
Oh, okay.
He's a nice guy, Corin. I get on well with him.
I can imagine, he seems like a very nice man.
Yeah. So I'm
And
just,
Never speaks about his wife, though. Never.
no?
No,
kind
all
of
the
a British
videos he
hillbilly.
does, he never speaks about his family.
It's kind of a British hillbilly, isn't he?
Yeah.
He really is.
Yeah. He's got this big bushy beard and
Yeah.
quite a big round face and long hair now. Yeah.
Last
He's,
video, he shaved his beard and cut his hair.
oh, did he?
Yeah, the last one I saw, and I'm pretty sure it was the newest one.
Ready for the spring.
Maybe. He said he felt really strange.
Stubborn bits on here. Come on.
Are you close by Grand Potter?
Yeah, he's not far either. It's like a little triangle of carvers in East Anglia, where I'm from. It's Kevin Wilson, myself, and Graham Potter, all within about an hour and a half of each other.
Is Kevin still there? I thought he moved to Spain.
No, he came back a long time ago. About 7, 8 years ago, he came back. He seems to be doing quite well for himself again. I think he finally got involved with social media, because people have very short memories and didn't really know who Kevin Wilson was. Once he got an Instagram account, he started getting loads of work with it.
He's teamed up with Baikoen Bonsai on several videos.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, Kevin was another big inspiration for me, and he lived so close. I used to be a thatcher, roof thatcher, and on wet days when I couldn't work, I'd just pop round his and he'd put some cup of coffee on, and I'd watch him work, or I'd ask him. Yeah, he's a coffee drinker. We're not all mad on tea. There's most of it.
Stronger than coffee. We're not live streaming.
Yeah,
no, it's not live stream.
I remember the first Ginkgo award I went to, which was Danny Hughes' show in Belgium before the trophy. I got so drunk with him that we didn't actually go into the exhibition.
You went all the way to Belgium and never went to the exhibition?
We did the next day with a horrendous hangover. But on the Saturday, we just sat in the bar. Because Danny has a bar in the nursery, and we just sat there drinking all day. But I don't drink anymore. I'm a good boy now. Okay. So I've got most of the bark off. There's still a little bit of fluff, and what I'll do is I'll just extend it down here and into the shari a bit, rather than just have it on its own like that. In fact, no, I won't. I'm going to leave some separation between the two, because it's too wide an area to open up. I think we could kill something above it. So what I'm going to do is leave a band of live there and just come down here a little way, as if it's died off here. So there's you see better on that?
Yeah.
So I'm coming down underneath the branch and it will just turn slightly that way. And it can be extended in the future, as I say, with just taking off a little bit of the cambium each year. And then I'll have a look at the hornbeam. Hornbeam? Yeah.
Hornbeam.
Ooh, there's sprinklers. Right above your head too.
Might have to get the Hoover out.
No, but sometimes when he's grinding, it gets all smoky.
No, we'll have to breathe it in.
Tom's there, he can just blow.
Gentle breeze.
You take your jacket off.
That's a different show.
I got dollars.
Inflation, buddy, inflation.
They don't take dollars anymore, do they?
Right, so there's a little shari that comes down underneath the branch, and then the main shari to the side there. So I think that's enough for now. That's still a little bit on there, but I could play about with this all day. Okay.
Yeah, it looks
So
good.
does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's very nice.
Whose is this one?
Manny, where you at? Manny. He's right there. Raise your hand, man.
Hello. Is it Korean hornbeam?
Yes.
Okay. Do you like that top bit? You want to keep this? Just reduce this bit? You think would be the best?
Whatever you want.
Okay. I mean,
You got carte blanche.
I just don't like that knob.
yeah. If I just fold this out of the way. Okay, I'll turn it round so you can see. So I've opened that up. You can see there's a whacking grate.
Yeah.
A bit of it, it's almost inverse taper up here.
Yeah.
So what I'll do is It's important when I do any carving, you've got to think about the scale of the tree. So any dead wood needs to be usually smaller and more in proportion. So I always work on the profiles first. So it's the external shape first. Now a lot depends on if you've got a lot of movement in the tree and it's a straight branch, if you can put a little bit of movement in the branch that you're working, then all well and good. And the same goes if it's a straight limbed branch tree, then you work the deadwood accordingly. So externals first. If you're thinking of putting any hollows in, and you were to do it first, so say that was your branch, and you decide, right, well, I'm going to put a big hole in there. So you go down through there. You're not leaving yourself a lot of wood at the sides to do any profile work afterwards. So you probably go through it. So it's always best to do get your taper, your movement in first, and the scale, and then think of any hollowing afterwards. Right. So what I'm going to do is remove a little bit of bark. There's nothing feeding up from the front here. It's all from the back. So I'm quite safe to make a bit of a shari, a dead area on the front of the trunk, a bit further down.
So using a cutting tool?
Yeah, just quickly, if I've got a feeling this might be bent actually, by the sound of it. Yeah, so this is, it's got 3 cutting cups on the ends. Where are you? Can you see that? So it's 3 cups on the end, and they're fixed in with little screws. Once they get blunt, you can turn them a third and they'll work again. But you know,
Where do you get all your tools?
the one I use the most is Sabertooth, which is an American company. They make these carbide burrs, which are they're like little pimples, carbide pimples. They create a lot of dust, but they're quite smooth. Anything with a cutting cup can be, especially when they're brand new, you can skip across the live vein in no time, whereas these are a lot smoother. So you know, you have to be careful with these.
Shirley will have a list of links to verified tools.
At the moment, I'm just worried about the outside, just reducing that thickness. Yeah, the woody part. See what I mean? When it decides to grab, it really grabs. And on that note, I'll change to something a little less aggressive.
Daniel, is he doing okay?
He's doing work. He's doing great.
Manny was at a workshop the other day, chiseling away.
So you kind of go back and forth, smooth it out, go back and forth rough stuff.
Yeah, at the moment we're just reducing. We've got a bit of echo going on here. We're just reducing the width. So from the lump we had, you can see it started to reduce in the width, and I want to taper it off a bit more. There was a big cut here, and there's a big cut here. I want to reduce that one, and you can reduce the diameter and turn it into a smaller branch from a big cut. So these do tend to create a lot of dust, but they're a lot smoother to use. And you can stick them across the wood.
Okay? Don't set off the sprinklers, I don't want my scroll to get wet.
It's always best to get your carving done before you start thinking about the structure of the tree as well. If you've got loads of branches in the way, it's quite awkward to get the angles right, to get your carving done. So if you do collect a tree and you've got some cuts, get them done within the first couple of years. Once the tree is established in a pot, and get it done before you're thinking about wiring your branches.
Want some grapes?
That's nice, actually. You can carry on doing that.
Not that one, Joe. Some wine, sir? Okay, so we're gonna take a break now. Like I said, he's gonna be our special tree. Greg and Lily are back there with apple kitchen. And if you haven't seen the trees, come see Shirley. You come up and take a look at the Shirley tree and Meadow tree when you did.
Hi. So far, we're just reducing the width of it. You see that was a big wide cut there, so I'm reducing that so it turns into a smaller branch, which is more in keeping with what you've got going on.
Can we get you something?
No, we had dinner before we came back. Thank you.
Do you think I should bring this branch up?
Pardon? Yeah, I just folded it down so that I could access this area. That's how it was. It was right up there.
Oh, was it? Yeah. I don't know.
So what's your next step on this?
Yes, well, I've still got a bit more reducing to do. And then I'll start thinking about putting a hollow in the tubes of all of these, just to make them look like really old branches, old dead branches.
The wood seems so hard.
It is very hard. Yeah. They used to use it for the inside of mines, the props, to hold the roof up. Yeah, hornbeam is very strong, very strong. Right, so I'll carry on. I've got water and tea. That is the hard water.
What's the end game here? Are you going to create a hollow? Or?
Yeah, I'll put a hollow in all three. Let the water come down the front here. This might be a bit short. Open that up, let the water out. It's really important that you let the water out. You don't want any wells.
So you're going to create like 3 hollows as opposed to like just one big one.
This time though, she should be. We were trying to like next meeting. I asked her if she wanted to.
I can't see any holes.
Oh, good, okay.
We can just save it to S-A-B-U-R-R. Bob?
I sent Bob.
Yeah. Trina's gonna have a list. Oh, perfect. Bob's gonna send it and then she'll post it. Yeah, there's also a list of tools. Yeah. These aren't bad, these. They're better models. That's really exhausting. Yeah. I've got one of those. This will show it. You gotta be real careful.
I'm sure you did a great job.
You did a brilliant job of that.
One more.
I know. Switch hands. Yeah, your turn.
If you fan it, when it starts flying.
Try to get that smoke right now. Stand away, buddy. My hand hurts. Suck at it. Come on.
It's okay, they're heat sensors, not smoke.
Yeah.
Just don't get it too hot.
Tom or the tree?
Oh, Will.
Will.
Huh? That's supposed to hit the wire.
Hey, if we get done and he wants to work.
Yeah, it's not our song. Give him a break.
Man that tells him with the weapon in his hand. Manny, you suck at this. Where's Manny? Here you go.
Do you want her to turn off the fire?
Should I bring the fire extinguisher next?
I covered your tea up. One, I was like, I should cover your tea up.
Smart move, my man.
Oh, you didn't bring it. Okay. I thought you brought that. No.
So first job is to get that the taper shape down first.
Yes.
If not, you're gonna lose. You just lose away your material.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, it is a lot of money. But if you don't buy them all at once, all at the same time, you don't notice it so much.
This one is nice.
Yeah, the flying saucer. Yeah, it's for the details. Yeah, most of the time it's on full speed.
Yeah.
It's alright, you'll be alright on this bit. So far, we've reduced the size, reduced some of those big cuts to small circumference branches, drill holes. This one is connected to this one, and well, if the water sits in the middle of the tree, there's a lot of wood away. So if you can get it to flow out,
Things that we don't have to worry about.
yeah, I mean, you're fortunate you don't quite have so much rain.
Whoever said water just passes through the
Yeah,
I got it. I think I got it for the tree.
With some of the long bits I use, these ones, you can actually hollow the tree without taking too much of the outside. You just create a hole, you can go up and down. You can work right away, hollow the tree right all the way through to the bottom. It takes time.
Sorry, but I was all the way back.
Feminine.
Yeah, the manufacturer. It's a wood hardener.
He's been working on it.
Yeah, it's used for like lots of window sills when people have lots of windows. They often mark the corners, so you can stroke the soft stuff out, and then you paint the stuff on, and you can harden the wood, and then you can finish. Yeah. It's like a spirit, like an acetone that carries a plastic. The plastic is kind of melted, for want of a better word, it's melted into the acetone. The acetone evaporates and leaves this plasticizer behind. So it's quite nice. Yeah, well, I apply it every year, but I'm a lot better than you are. So, you know, you might get away with not treating this at all with the weather you had. You know? It could last for years and years without any treatment whatsoever. And in that case, I just stick a fingernail in it occasionally just to see if it's going soft on the outside, and then apply some wood hardener if that's the case. So So it's just like, you know, it's quite nice to let wood age a bit naturally. So some time left to the elements of cold in the rain will help expand and create some cracks and fissures. Not only that way, but across the grain as well. There's all sorts of little features you get from the natural process of aging. So, say, if it was a juniper and you put white all over it, it's going to reflect the heat. You don't get that. So if you leave it untreated for a while, you're watering the dead wood. On a hot day, it's going to cool and expand. Well, there's a hole that goes right through there to here, and I just need one to go through there, right here underneath, and go up to let the water out.
Somebody just help me tell me how to do it.
Do I just smoothen this with a brush? The metal brush?
Well, because you do a lot of branches around it, if you just made it slightly concave, it colours over.
Okay, good. So concave.
Yeah, slightly. Yeah, if it's a hard edge like that, it can be, it struggles to roll over.
But yeah,
Okay, 5 more minutes. Get your raffle tickets. Any questions for Will? Come on up. I was going after the permit. How you doing, man?
You got that? Thank you.
Hey Dan, you're hired. You brought one of those biggest bands with you. Give it to Will.
See the smoke coming out of here now? See the smoke coming out of these holes? So we know any water that goes in any of those holes access to it because the drain out of
What does the bed look like when you were making the lines?
this one. It's just something.
Is there a name for that?
Yeah, it's called a knife edge burr.
Knife edge.
Yeah, Shirley's gonna have all the information. She's gonna send out, and then she's got all the tools on there that you sent to Bob. Bob got it, all the information. Yeah,
He's got a picture of it.
yeah.
Send it to you. And you
Yeah,
can
no,
just-
sure, yeah, Shirley's gonna send it all out.
Do you have by name what these are? Or not?
Oh,
Yeah, it mentions where to get it from.
But it doesn't give it the name?
Well, I call it a flying saucer because it looks a bit like a
Like if I was to order it, I would look for a knife.
knife edge burr. Yeah. But you've got to be careful because a lot of jewellery sites sell these, but they're on a much thinner shaft. So it's best to go through the link.
well, that's like,
It's a guy in Florida that sells them. Yeah. if you buy them with the smaller shaft, every time you've got to change this collet here. That's the bit this slides in and out of, and you need a much smaller one, so you have to change that plus the tool.
I really do want to see it, but like I haven't really told John I haven't got it. There's Elton, I got it. I don't know what I got.
How much money? I want to be in the beginning. And I'm really.
You should have a fan, you know? I'm surprised.
Pretty cool.
Privilege with all these people doing
Bring a fan next time. Okay,
You'll all want pain, I'm sure.
Get everybody's attention, can we sit down? And Will can tell us what he's doing here.
Huh? Yeah, that's right. I get it. It's fine. It's carbon.
Yeah.
Tungsten carbide. It'll outlast that.
You're not getting worn out, are you?
No, I'm tired. It's a workout. What's the reading the field?
This is going to look a little bizarre because what I've done, so I've done the profiles. So the profiles are done. These hollows are all connected, so all the water, any water that goes in these holes will flow out through the bottom of this branch here. I start off, once I've got the profiles right, any hollows done, then it starts to, time to do the detail work. I start off with a few heavy lines, and now new wood is very round, but the older it gets, the more kind of stippled it gets as you lose, the soft areas disappear, and the hard areas in the grain remain. So you get this kind of striations and lines and grooves in the wood. So I start off with the heavy lines. Now in between those, the next job is to make them slightly dished, slightly concave. So you've got these hard lines like that, and then just a slight shallow concave shape in between. The lines look very harsh and black at the moment, but they will reduce in size as I carry on the work. So I'm just using a carbide burr in between to make it slightly concave.
get a second generation.
Right, so it's all concave now. So then what I do is go in between those lines and make much smaller ones.
Should you be? I'm your ride home, dude. And I get a bunch of your money.
So just very gently put some smaller lines in, just to highlight and make it look older. So if people want to come up and have a closer look, because you're not going to see particularly well. I've just started the lines. So we just put smaller lines in between these bigger ones. Yes.
What to do that with? Just a really tightening?
Yeah, it's like a knife edge. It has got little teeth on it, but I prefer them when they're full of soot.
They just get like a disc.
Yeah, it just burns its way through.
It's cool, I like the hollow of this thing.
Yeah.
Who's this next, Stephen?
That's Mike Kelly.
Oh, Mike Kelly?
I'm sorry, I was too far away to see. What bit did you use to create the holes that?
It's just a long.
I didn't want to run out of
Yeah,
trees.
it's made by the same company, Sabertooth. This is full of soot, but you feel the base of it, and it's quite.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Yeah, man.
Okay.
the nursery is that has two sections. One section is where they like popping and cracks and start really stuff like that. That's pretty much what they do. Work over the nursery. I'm not really
It's looking amazing, Will.
Thank you.
He tries. No, but he gets so embarrassed when he does it.
I know.
That's pretty cool.
Have you ever tried to produce like the alligator type of cross hatching?
Of what?
The alligator, really the cross hatching type of deadwood feature?
Alligator. I don't know.
I'll show you a picture one time. When I get a chance, I'll send you a picture online.
Okay. I know the alligator juniper. A little bit tight to get into the conversation. I'm going to turn it around.
A little more than I needed to know there, Will.
Yeah, now do the whole book. Whoa. So that's it's starting to get there now.
You can keep that with it.
So not quite finished, but it's starting to get there.
That's like art. You know, like
what?
It's like.
But you see how those big lines look very heavy to start off with, but now they're kind of disappearing slightly.
You're an artist.
It looks like clay. You're an artist. It's pretty amazing. True artist.
It's like a sculpture.
It looks Bonnaroo Mitchell.
What?
Whatever that means. Okay, I'll do a bit feminine. Everyone, come and have a look.
Where's the exit for the water?
Under here. Under there. But oh yeah.
We need you.
It's a really useful technique. More often than not, there's an area, even on the best Yamadori, you'll have to take a branch off. So turning that into something more convincing.
What bits, what like top 3 bits were you using the most here?
That's for the lines. It's called a knife edge burr. There's the carbide burr, so things for making the holes. For widening the holes. So these are all carbide. But yeah, I would say those, all that you see in the tray are the ones I use the most.
And what was the one with the cup that you were saying?
The cup.
They come in sets like this.
Bonsai Nibblers in UK, he makes these. He also does this, which is very useful. There's an extension that goes on the Dremel, and it allows you good access where the body of the tool gets in the way. Yeah, it gives you good access in and around branches.
This is not something you can just like pick up at Home Depot. Where do you find it? Like,
Well, these are a general woodworking saber tooth. It's an American company. But they also do the larger stuff for the Makita, which is that machine, the die grinder. So they do the big stuff too.
This takes wood.
Yeah, this is a very good cutter. So, that's the bigger version of whatever Graham calls Potter Kaizen. What's the other one? That one. That's the modern equivalent of that one. Yeah. But these are very good. They look fierce, but because they've got this big shoulder on the back behind the cutter, it can't dig in too far. Whereas some of them, like this one, I've never used really for the fact that it's got nothing behind it. So if you imagine it's in the book. Yeah, they're very good. Yeah, the terrier, I think that's called the terrier, and then the little terrier is that one. Yeah,
When it gets done, you can turn it.
you just undo it slightly, just play it around. But I prefer them when they're done. They're less likely to skip. They're slightly done.
Oh yeah.
A little bit more detail.
is that a crate picture? Hey, Kelly, thanks for volunteering. Thanks for
That's the one for the line.
Yeah. Try to get a good picture of it. These lines are so fine. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, I do a lot of work with birds. Usually the 4-inch caps tonight, they get them sharpened and stuff all the time.
So, hello? Hey! So the very final bit that I do is I go over the whole lot with a worn out wire brush. So they're usually about this kind of size, but eventually they wear down to just a little bit of wire poking out the sides of the metal. At this stage, they don't cut so much or remove wood as burnish it and soften. So I go over the whole lot and just soften all the hard edges. As old wood tends to be a little softer, new breaks tend to be quite jagged and rough. So this is the last stage. Any questions while I'm loading up?
Do you grind those little wire brushes down so that you get them the way you
No, I use them. I get through quite a lot of them. I tend to use Dremel's own brand ones because they seem to be a lot firmer. You can buy Chinese ones, you can buy maybe 40 or 50 in a pack for a few dollars off Amazon, but you just turn them on and bits of wire are flying out.
Do you prefer the steel to the brass?
The steel, yeah. It lasts a bit longer. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend the Chinese ones. And the wire brushes are probably the most dangerous tool of anything here. You get one of those in your eye and you're in big trouble. If you use a blowtorch on this, it will burn all the ends, the very fine ends away, and it just round them off, and you lose some of the definition. Sometimes if the wood is green and you want it hardened, then I'll just not burn it as such, but drive the sap out of it. You can harden the surface a little bit.
Okay, we're going to start the raffle. And this one tree was donated from Michael Kelly, not Peter, my dad. Thank you, Michael. Yeah, 1995.
Okay. Okay, so it's finished now for the time being. So from here on, I would leave it untreated for the rest of the year. Just let the sun hit it. Expansion and contraction of the weather will help age it. Mother Nature does a better job than I do. Yeah, I mean, because you're so dry here, you could probably go a couple of seasons, a couple of years at least without any wet rock wood hardener. But just occasionally, what I would suggest is just stick your finger in it. If it's starting to get a little bit soft on the outside, then apply some wood hardener. But other than that,
Very nice, thank you. Okay, Greg, you're up.
please come up and have a look.
You're hired, Kelly. Take over.
So it's a quick job, you know. Yeah.
Can you do the last one? Last three numbers.
Here we go. Okay.
Oh, that's Lindsay.
Yeah, this is eventually gonna bleach and be more color of the trunk.
Yeah, we'll go silvery grey. Like most trees. Yeah, I think forward, I just bent the back of it.
It is,
Yeah.
Very cool.
Thank you.
What did you say you put on it to like preserve the wood?
It's min wax.
Min wax?
Min wax wood hardener.
Wood hardener. Minwax sells a lot of different things.
Yeah, it's a yellow can from them.
They're all bright yellow.
Oh, are they? That's the brain.
Big difference.
You like it?
I just heard today.
Yeah, that's, you know, I've spent nearly 30 years practicing and photographing dead wood and, you know, trying to copy it.
They have a hole down in here. Water goes in and out like a hole.
Yeah, there's one yeah, these, all three.
Yeah, with electronics now. Star, go get him, Bill.
Run, Bill, run.
Run, Bill, run.
Run, Forrest.
Bill, run.
Run, Forrest, run.
Get Maddie a picture and you with pictures. Come on, you never know. Wait, hey, Tom. Go. Take a picture with shirt and Bill. I know you can.
I see the one you used for the fine one.
The line.
It's like a tiny fine saucer.
Yeah.
That's me. I see the red one, white one on it.
Yeah, wait, we're gonna give, hey, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more.
Yeah, so there's a couple of different sizes. That's the slightly larger one.
Wait, I wanna have Will take a picture with this.
it's got a couple of main columns. I prefer it when it's stood and it kind of burns its way. It works better. It's good for contrast. It doesn't last very long. Within a year, that will all have gone.
Have you ever tried this with a wood back on this?
Well, yeah, it's like the problem is it burns too much wood, so it goes.
Wider?
Yeah, yeah.
Good. It looks clear.
Hey, Will, taking a picture of the picture?
Yeah.
And then man, you'll be next. No, do it individual, because that's your tree. And then he'll do a picture with there you go.
You never know which one will work.
Right. Okay, man, you get behind over here. With Will. Yeah.
My turn. Stand back up there. My turn. My turn. My turn.